Hello, Tara students. Recently, one of my clients asked me if I could tell her the story of creation as it was delivered in the origins of the art of compassion, which is Kojiki. She had heard me reference that. So Kojiki, translated here by Donald Filippi, is the Book of Ancient Things. And it's a creation story, a long one, a long poem, rather like the biblical Leviticus, that talks about lineages. And my client was curious about that because she felt it would help her understand how the self-care and the treatments she was experiencing were working in her body. So I went back to Kojiki and I went back to my very weathered book from Mary's translation. It was so weathered actually that it was falling apart. So one of the first things I did was make copies of it so that it would sustain. And I want to share with you the product of this revisiting of Kojiki and Mary's translation of it. The first thing I want to say is that Kojiki was compiled in the 7th century. So it's an ancient document. It precedes Buddha, it precedes Christ, it precedes Moses. Nevertheless, it bears some similarity to the Bible and to other texts that are origination stories. In rereading it after a decade in which I haven't really looked at it again, I realized quite clearly that the compilation of Kojiki is quite masculine. I don't believe there was a feminine hand in creating it. And what Mary did in her translation was actually to bring in the feminine into the story of origination that is delivered in Kojiki. So Kojiki is very clearly about embryology. And I say that because it begins with the conception of children. And it is also about the systems that allow life to continue. And those systems include the main central vertical flow, primarily as you might say, the core of origination, followed by the left and right supervisory flows and the diagonal mediator flows, which all of you are familiar with. So these three energetic deliverances from cosmic compassion for humanity are the core origination story that the art of compassion shares with the world. The key takeaway from this origination story that I believe is quite unique to the art of compassion is that the divine energies of integration and centrality and collaboration between different functions comes into the human body purposefully so that we as humans embody divinity in our action, in our corporality, in the ways in which we move and function, and are creative and participatory, the ways in which we engage with the natural world. The basic story has to do with that centrality, that main central vertical flow that unites heaven and heaven and earth are united in our bodies. And then we experience the masculine and feminine forces that weave together through the supervisory and mediator flows. I have delivered to some of you in previous classes the way in which I put that into the concepts of the Empress, the Prince and the Princess, the prime ministers, the ways in which these energetic transmissions from divinity that are embodied in us are similar to regal rulership. So that's in sum the translation of Kojiki. It is an extensive creation story. This is, of course, the condensed version that I would like to share with you in this brief installment and add my feminine voice to my teachers, Mary Burmeister. Thank you.